All right, Alec, what's going on?
Are we talking about in the greater context of reality, or what's going
Yeah, I
on
mean, in the
in
grand scheme of things,
the
in
grand
like the
scheme of things?
universe, what is going on?
Well, apparently, nature's telling us to not. Um,
That's a good
so
point.
anyway, let's
That's a good
let's
point.
talk about the
That's a
Xbox Games Showcase.
Xbox Game Showcase. We're two of the biggest Xbox fans you'll find.
Yeah,
First of
I'm a
all,
huge,
let's put that out
huge
there.
Xbox gamer. I've got my Xbox 360 gamepad here. I have my Xbox One controller. I am the biggest Xboxer that there is.
Yeah,
Also,
let
I
me.
don't I don't own an Xbox One.
Okay, I was gonna
Those are
say I
those are my
own I own an
360
Xbox
controllers.
One, but I haven't played it yet.
I'm actually planning on buying a refurbished Xbox One X probably this weekend. Actually, I'm gonna try to pick one up. Maybe even after we're done recording this.
So I mean, in terms of the pecking order, Xbox is probably at the bottom for me, but that doesn't mean I don't love video games. Am I right? I
Hmm.
barely play video games these days. I just look at them, so
Okay.
I can appreciate games from afar for sure.
Yeah.
And this is a showcase, and it's kind of like Nintendo Direct esque, that kind of thing. We seem to be going in that direction for a lot of these companies.
Well, a lot of them they can't help it now because due to
Coronavirus,
the virus,
right?
and we don't have to worry about being demonetized because we have like we don't make money on what we're doing here.
I didn't know that was
Yeah,
happening.
yeah, that's
Coronavirus.
yeah. COVID, coronavirus, all those are like targeted words on YouTube. Yeah, I can't believe you didn't know that.
It's a
Yeah, yeah,
political
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's why everyone's come up with like the event or the situation in the world, or
Yeah,
as the Game Grumps coined it, the Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
yeah, yeah. No. All right, so we're gonna go through it. We're not gonna go too in depth, but
Yeah.
we'll go through the highlights and
So to be honest, I what okay, so what are your general thoughts? Because me, I to be clear, I didn't actually sit down and watch the entirety. I was listening to and watching when I had the chance to a Twitch stream um when but I had to work. So I couldn't be focusing all my attention on that. So I was working, I was in not a really great service area, so the stream was kind of janking out here and there. So I didn't really get to watch tons of it. I just sort of got to hear the announcements. I watched some of them afterwards, um, but overall it was fine.
it was fine. Yeah,
It was fine. It
I
was
would
absolutely adequate.
I would say it's like it's on par with an average Nintendo Direct. I'd say I think it depends how like when's the next Xbox game showcase gonna be? You know.
I don't know. Also, another thing about this, so many of these releases are like next year, and
Mm-hmm.
there's also the caveat is always on like so many of them is optimized for Xbox One. Or no, Xbox X. Sorry,
Enhanced.
no, it was optimized for Xbox Series X. So it's
Yeah.
optimized for that platform, but it's gonna come to all the other platforms.
Yeah.
Basically, it's
Yeah.
gonna come to PC. It's um, gonna come to PlayStation 4. It's gonna go to Xbox One. So it's like, okay,
You'll have to keep if you know which ones are exclusive and whatnot, because I didn't really write that down. I didn't even think about it.
yeah, it's. I think like half of them are and half of them aren't, or something like that. It was unclear during the conference.
Hmm.
But
I mean,
that's gonna be the new buzzword though, is optimized for,
mm-hmm.
because that was like the key phrase
Well,
in most of the trailers.
and what are their other in like E3? It was like console launch exclusive was the
Yeah,
thing.
right.
Like we're gonna be the first ones to have it exclusively for a little bit. Yeah, when you look at it that way, it might not look as good. But yeah,
Hmm.
I'm not even sure looking at this list which ones are which.
Yeah.
So they started with Halo Infinite, of course. I'm not a big Halo fan at all, really. I haven't had much experience with them. You know, I've only played a tiny bit of Halo 3, a tiny bit of Halo 2, and that's about it. So
Okay. I really like Halo a lot. I haven't played Halo 5 Guardians um, and I didn't get to play anything in the Master Chief Collection, so I didn't play the remake of Halo 2. All those are on PC now, so I feel I should be able to just pick them up any point, and I might just do that at some point. I do really like Halo. I know a lot of people cite the multiplayer as like the big thing. I actually think they're just really fun, solid single player campaigns,
Mm-hmm.
and they're very fun. I really like Halo a lot. Seems like there was a lot of backlash about this graphically not impressing, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. Honestly, I was like,
I thought the game looked beautiful. I thought it
yeah,
looked really fine.
yeah.
I
I wasn't like blown away by it, but I was like,
Yeah.
I could give it a try. Like, I was never really interested in trying any of the Halo games up until now.
Yeah, it ran real smooth. I didn't notice any like, huge problems or anything. I think what they showed was likely running on an Xbox One, because I think Halo Infinite is going to be launching on both, because they had said something also that there's going to be like a ray tracing update on the Xbox
Mm-hmm.
Series X. Um, I by the way, their naming conventions are just the worst thing in the world. I thought we had it bad when we had new Nintendo 3DS XL, and when we had Wii U.
Yeah,
But all these different names for the Xbox consoles
Xbox,
may take the cake for worse in my book.
Xbox. We had Xbox 360, Xbox One, Xbox One X, Xbox
Xbox One
Series
S.
X.
No, Xbox One S. You also have the Xbox One S.
There was like an Elite in there somewhere.
Yeah, the Xbox.
360.
Yeah, so 360 you had the arcade, 360 Elite, you had the 360 Slim, and then the 360 alternate Slim. I don't think they called it Super Slim, but it made it look more like an Xbox One. It may
Mm-hmm.
be one of the worst. I hate that the way that thing looks. But
But I mean, the Xbox One itself was an awful name, right?
yeah, Xbox One is a
So,
terrible name.
and then you just throw an X on the end of
Yeah,
it, and now it's
Xbox
Series X.
Series. There's Xbox One Series S, Xbox One. No, sorry.
It's Xbox
Xbox One,
S.
Xbox One S, Xbox One X, Xbox One S Digital Edition, and now they're doing Xbox Series X, and the new console, which they still haven't announced, their other console, which I think is going to be their version of a digital only, which everyone's just kind of calling the Xbox Series S right now
Hmm.
to just add to the confusion. Also, I just have a random Wii remote here, just for no particular reason. I just playing with it. Um, yeah.
But that's not the official name, right? Xbox
It's
Series
not.
X.
Yeah, Xbox Series X is the official
That
name
is the
of
official
new
name?
console. Yeah, as far as we
Okay.
know. Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like okay.
Yeah, as far as we know, that's the name of the
That
console.
is not.
I mean, and I think I don't know why exactly. I mean, I kind of looked at it as like, think of like a phone, right? You get your Samsung Galaxy S10, your Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, your Samsung
I hate that
Galaxy,
too.
or your iPhone 10 or your iPhone 11, or you get your series of phones,
Mm-hmm.
or Apple Watch Series 3, Apple Watch Series 4. So it's kind of taking like almost the phone naming convention and just doing that. I don't really like it, but I can kind of understand what they're doing. So I'm assuming that for Lockhart, which is the code name of their digital console, because we haven't really had that announced yet, um, I'm assuming that's going to be Xbox Series S or something similar, where it's going to be the off, not the full-on Series X, the big horsepower machine, but it's going to just be your digital only console that runs a little bit more like an Xbox One or an Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so, yeah.
So Halo Infinite will be holiday 2020. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's on both, so that's not really going to sell anybody on it, right? Like unless you really want that optimized version. So
Yeah, and yeah.
then they had State of Decay 3, which I haven't played any of those.
I just didn't care.
It was like it was
looked
like a
fine.
zombie deer looking.
Yeah, it looked cool, but like I
Yeah.
just the series does nothing for me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not my thing. Not my thing. So happy for the fans of that series. It's been a little while since the last one, I think, hasn't it?
They're out there somewhere. There's
Yeah,
gotta be fans.
sure.
Forza Motorsport is
Very
here.
pretty. The horse. That's the horsepower, right? Your car games are the ones that are going to sell. This is what the system can do.
Yeah, it's literally like every new system. It's like, oh man, they're so excited to dig into these new, new enhanced graphics because that's all they love.
Yeah,
So they always have Forza coming out the
Forza,
gate.
and as to match Sony's Gran Turismo.
Hmm.
So
So that was like nothing though. Even if I was a
yeah,
Forza fan, it was like 20
yeah,
seconds maybe.
yeah.
Does nothing for me. What else? Everwild. Rare's new thing, which people were hoping was gonna be Banjo Kazooie or something, a return of something, but it was Everwild, and
It looks interesting.
it does
I
have a
don't know
nice style
exactly.
to it at least.
I
Yeah,
like the style. I don't really know exactly what it is, but
yeah.
it looks really interesting.
Did they
And
really
I'm intrigued.
Did they really show any gameplay really, or is it just they? I guess it was, but it
Yeah.
wasn't really like you couldn't get a
I,
sense of what you're doing.
I am intrigued for more because it's rare. That company name has a lot of clout, so
Does it
uh,
now though? I mean,
Sea of Thieves was great.
I haven't.
I will
Yeah,
give.
yeah.
Everybody kind of dumped on it because it didn't have a lot of content when it first launched. But Sea of Thieves is very fun. It was one of my actually, even though I've only really played it a handful of times, but it's responsible for actually one of my favorite gaming experiences ever, which is amazing because I played with my brother. He was playing on his Xbox One, and I was playing on PC, and I, he was the only person that could hear me. So the way that one of the cool things about how voice communication works in that game is that the closer you are to somebody, they can then hear you better. So nobody else could hear me except him, and I was still having the time of my life.
Yeah.
Like I was just like patching up the ship in the storm. We were fighting these other pirates that were trying to take our treasure, and we were in this big old storm, and we were going through, and I just like was dumping the bucket out to dump it, getting the water out of the hold, and it was just I had so much fun.
I'd like to get in on that. I would love to play that. Honestly, it seems
Yeah,
the kind of game I would like.
yeah, it's cool. I had a very fun time playing that game.
I'll have to
So.
find some friends first, but maybe one day.
Hey, you got me.
Oh, okay.
Get a group together and sing some sea
It's
shanties.
on X. Is it only on Xbox, right? So, or is it on
Xbox.
PC?
It's on PC as well. Yeah, I own it on PC.
See,
So.
I'd have to get online just just to play it. I have online on PS4 because that's where I do all my online gaming. And
Pump up your PC game like me.
like I have to. No, I can't do that. But my Xbox, yeah, I don't know if I'd have to just do like a trial or something, just to play
Xbox
it.
Live just to do a trial.
Yeah,
Multiple trials in a row.
yeah. So okay, Everwild, not bad, not bad. But I had heard that they had announced this before, actually, prior. I don't know when it was, but
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd heard about that either.
people were like, when I saw like reactions with Twitch chat and stuff, people were like, "Oh, Everwild." Oh, okay, that was a thing.
Hmm.
And then we have Tell Me Why, which is from Don't Nod Entertainment, Life is Strange creators.
Didn't it literally just look like I didn't see this one, but from what I heard from reaction, it was like, isn't this just Life is Strange?
It
Like,
really
looked exactly
I
like.
thought it was gonna be a Life is Strange thing when I saw it. Yeah, I knew instantly it was like, oh, this is Life is Strange,
Yeah.
or I knew it was gonna be the
Like,
creator at least.
and the music, I definitely heard it in the music too. It's like a lot of like indie guitar type stuff.
I will say, like, I really enjoyed Life is Strange. I haven't played 2 yet, but
I've heard good stuff about it, but I also have not played the second one.
but this one didn't interest me at all. Like, it really did not
Oh,
sell
really? It
me
didn't
at
do
all.
anything?
It didn't do
Oh, okay.
anything for me.
Oh wow.
It was like it was just some random weird power. They like putting powers in it, but it was like when we're around emotional events, this like glowing stuff starts happening, and you see like silhouettes of things.
Oh.
I'm like,
See, I
what's
don't even
gonna
know
go
if
on
Life
there?
is Strange 2, if you had a power in that game. I don't even know.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if you had a power in that one. I thought it was just like an emotional story between. I
Maybe.
mean, maybe you do. Again, I don't know very much about the second one other than it's between two brothers, I think.
Sure.
And that's basically all I know about it.
I did
And then
hear
it's-
that this new one what's it called? Tell Me Why.
Tell me why.
Apparently has like a main character that's a trans woman, so that's a pretty big thing.
Oh, okay, that's cool. Yeah, well,
But-
more representation. Sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
But as a game, doesn't look very interesting to me.
Mm.
You know.
But they showed off at that PlayStation one too. The one with the furries. You remember the animated?
Yes, the
one?
furry one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I think is supposed to have the same sort have a little bit more diversity and representation in that too.
Furry representation, I guess.
Furry representation, yeah, probably. But no, I meant like in terms of like gender representation and,
Okay.
and stuff. So
Is it all animals though? Or was there a person? There was a person with animal people. Yeah.
yeah, they're furries. Yeah.
Okay. I got weird vibes from that game, but it was all right.
Yeah, I did. I mean, there wasn't even a game. Yeah, they just showed animation, which looked pretty good. But I was like, this doesn't look like a game.
So they also did an Ori and the Will of the Wisp. They're gonna have a Series X thing for that. But
Cool. I
yeah,
haven't
it's
even
okay.
played. All right.
That's okay.
It's an old game. It just came out at the beginning of this year, I think.
The Outer
Right,
Worlds also has DLC coming, but I haven't played the Outer Worlds yet.
Me neither.
Though I would like to. I was interested in it, and I mean I have it. I've heard it's actually pretty short, like 15 hours for a game of
and
that
that's
kind.
and you know what? I'm all on board that.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great to me. I think I'd like a nice quick get in get out RPG sometimes is
Yeah,
that's okay with
it's
me.
just it seems really weird, you know, because it's like the nature of an open world RPG. It's like you're gonna just have to have a lot of content. So I'm interested in how that works.
I think the open world part. I think it's fairly limited. Like in this, it's very detailed, and they're large to a point, but they're not like overwhelmingly huge. I think.
So I'm sure people are actually looking for more content. So DLC
Yeah,
probably
probably.
helps.
Yeah.
Okay, then they showed Grounded. What do you think of Grounded?
Was this the Stranger Things looking game?
I didn't know there was a Stranger Things looking game, but there was.
That might have been part of the pre-show. So most of the games that I actually like saw like was watching was during the pre-show.
You're talking about the 8-bit kind of like world.
Yeah.
3D world kind of.
Yeah, it's like Stranger Things meets Earthbound. Is what it looked like.
That is Echo Generation. Yeah.
That's it. That looks great.
That is the pre-show. Yeah, we should have done the pre-show first. Didn't even
Yeah,
think
we
about it.
should. That's okay. But
There was only a couple things there.
yeah, there was that. Dragon Quest XI is getting ported to Xbox One and PlayStation 4 and PC.
It's getting
so
ported. It's literally everywhere. This freaking game.
So they're gonna get the graphically, it's gonna look better than it did on the Switch because they have 4K. But I don't care. The game looks beautiful on the Switch, so I just don't care.
Yeah, Echo Generation does look cool graphically.
It does,
at the very least.
Yeah, and then there was Ballon
Wonderworld.
Ballon Wonderworld. I'm always getting the name wrong on that. That's my favorite game. That was the game of the show for me.
Looks
that
wacky.
looked amazing.
Wacky.
It looked so fun. Yuji Naka back making games. Man, I was on board. I was totally on board. It looks great.
It looks wacky at the very least.
It looks whimsical.
So we'll see how it goes. This whimsical Knights-esque.
It's very
right?
very Knights-ish, yeah. And I like Knights. I played the port that they have on the 360. It's a good game. I like Knights a lot.
See, that was when Sega popped up. You know, it's always interesting when you see Sega. It's like
yeah, because they also was it Phantasy Star Online 2 was another one, right? There was like a
another
DLC
one, yes.
DLC for that, yeah. And it was like, I don't care.
I don't know. I thought that was a big deal. I don't know anything about it though. I like Phantasy Star in general. I don't really, but Phantasy Star Online 2.
Yeah, they're getting DLC. It's DLC basically for it.
Okay, but Grounded is little children. It's like Fortnite-esque. Did you see this?
I don't think I saw anything. I don't think I saw this at all.
It's like tiny people. It was almost like ants, where they're shrunk down people, like living amongst the leaves. But then you could see them building stuff, kind of like Fortnite. But they were like, if you're looking for the biggest game this year, wait for Cyberpunk 2077. But if you want the smallest game, Grounded, and it's from the same makers of the Outer Worlds. So it was.
Oh, okay.
It was like from
Obsidian.
From Obsidian, who made no games like this before. or something like that.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
It was a fun trailer, but really did not interest me at all. The gameplay,
Okay.
you know.
Yeah, I mean,
Just like,
when you say Fortnite, that automatically is kind of like, oh, okay.
yeah, that's the only comparison I can really make, just because I see them building and they're like shooting.
Is it like a single player game though?
It's I don't know, because they showed a bunch of little kids running around. It was like they called it a survival game, but I don't know.
Okay, that could be. Yeah, it could be. That could mean anything.
It's probably
They were calling Ballon Wonderworld an action game, but it's a platformer. The game is straight up a platformer.
They called it a platformer though.
They did in the actual trailer, but in the when they were introducing it, they kept calling it action game, and I think the reason for that is because it's very theater based. So they were like
whimsical.
action. It's like action.
Oh.
You think action at part of the theater. I think that's why they.
Interesting take.
Yeah.
Okay, Grounded, and then they showed the new Obsidian RPG. They showed a little teaser of Avowed.
Yeah, that looks great. I'm not a big Skyrim person, and I think that looked really cool.
I mean, it looks like an idea, but I don't know what it's actually gonna look like. It's like they just showed a guy with a sword and a magical hand.
Yeah, it looked great. It was a good concept trailer. I was interested.
That's fine. That's fine. I need to go play through Skyrim first.
I don't care about Skyrim at all.
Why don't you?
It's just so I like.
You were so intrigued by that magical hand.
I
and
am.
That sword,
I'm very intrigued by that.
You weren't intrigued by Skyrim.
I'm just not an Elder Scrolls person. It just doesn't really do anything.
So this
for me.
seems like not the game for you, right? Because it's
it
Elder
does.
Scrolls-esque.
It does, but there was just something about the delving into because I'm really big into D&D right now, and so there was just something extremely like
the magical hand got you into.
Yeah, it did. The magical hand was like, yo, that's pretty cool.
You did some little bit of action here.
To be perfectly honest, I'm probably not going to play this game at all.
Right.
But I was intrigued.
It's one of those when you see him at like an E3 presentation, like this looks great. Will I play it though? I don't know.
I doubt it.
This looks stellar, and the developer's awesome. But okay, so then they had As Dusk Falls, which is it was like a 2D style. It was like a drawn, almost like hand drawn thing, and they called it a drama. So I don't know if it's like a visual novel-esque, but they showed like 2D. It was like 2D drawings, but then they like kind of moved a little bit. It was a weird style.
Huh. Yeah, I don't think I saw that one.
It didn't do much for me.
Okay.
We'll see what comes from it, but Psychonauts 2, they showed Jack Black in the studio singing the song for it. So that was fun. But
it's about time because they announced that like 2 or 3 years ago now.
Right.
So
I don't really. Does nothing for me personally. I've never played. Psychonauts.
I still haven't played the first one. I've heard it's great. I just haven't gotten around to doing it.
It's a common story for Xbox games for me, right?
Yeah.
Stalker 2. Have you played the first Stalker?
I had literally never heard of this game.
Oh, okay. Apparently, it was a big deal for some people.
Yeah, I guess. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of this game in my life.
Stalker. Yeah.
So literally, again, does nothing for me.
Yikes.
Are we really the right people to be covering this content?
No, we're gonna cover. You know, Warhammer 40,000 Dark Tide.
Yeah, that? Warhammer's dope.
Sure, absolutely, love it.
I mean, Warhammer. Okay, so I have like almost no experience with Warhammer, but Vermintide looks really fun. Was this anything like that?
Who knows?
I don't think I saw. I think I saw like barely clips of this trailer because I think this was like the part where it was like I was working. I mean, obviously I hadn't seen a lot of these trailers. This is a part where I was working. I think this might have been a part where the stream janked out because I don't even remember hearing about that one.
Look, I wrote the name down, but I don't remember anything I saw.
Wow. Okay.
That's all I'll say on that.
Well,
subject.
Warhammer's a big deal in the tabletop scene, I guess.
Well, we love the tabletop. We're big We love the tabletop fans. We love them.
We're going after big tabletop right now. Big tabletop market.
Yeah. We're lobbying for the big tabletop.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, did you see the hot new Tetris Effect trailer?
That looked cool.
It looked cool,
but it was also Tetris Effect. It was a very strange trailer. Yes.
I had no idea this is where it was going. They had all these faces, like like playing a game. It was a bunch of different faces.
The song was like, "This is Tetris this is definitely a new Tetris, but it's like it's weird. It was very weird.
And it was called Tetris Effect Connected.
Yeah, so it's just I think it's just Tetris Effect isn't going to be PlayStation 4 exclusive anymore. That was my take.
Right. I mean, it seemed nice. It was like experience Tetris now on the next most advanced optimized console yet.
I guess, yeah. It's like Tetris Effect is great. Absolutely recommend that game. If you're a Tetris fan, it was very good. Very good game.
Okay.
So I very much enjoyed my time with Tetris Effect.
How about the Gunk? How are you feeling about the Gunk?
What a title, am I right? What a name! What a name for your game.
Even if the whole concept of your game is based on Gunk, you don't name it the Gunk.
The Gunk. I thought it was very. I was intrigued. This is another trailer. I was like, oh, this is kind of cool.
But you're never gonna play it, are you?
I mean, I'm probably not even gonna get an Xbox Series X. I mean, I'm just talking about getting it.
I dare you to pick up the Gunk on day one.
The Gunk? Well, maybe I will. Just as a dare, and I probably won't play it.
The Gunk. It's such a gross name, right?
It was weird. Yeah.
But it's like, because if that's your whole concept, you have to come with something to romanticize it a little bit, you know. Because you're not going to have people talking to their friends like, yo, have you played Gunk, bro?
You have played the Gunk?
Have you played the Gunk? Exclusively on
get
Xbox
down with
Series X.
Get down with the Gunk, bro.
Exclusively for a limited time on Xbox Series X.
Yo, get gunked. I'm gonna...
Yo, you want a Gunk tonight, bro? Come on, let's go. All right. How about The Medium? Did you see this game?
I did, and I had no idea what was going on.
Look, there's some wild stuff happening here.
Was basically, it was like...
dual reality gameplay. Two worlds rendered simultaneously.
And my thing is like, it was like, okay, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fascinating concept. I don't know if the game can actually be anything more than just a concept.
Yeah, it sounds like a gimmick, right?
It does. I said, if executed well, I think that's a really cool thing. But I don't know how far you can push that.
It is cool. It's almost like the Upside Down in Stranger Things, right? It's like you're in the normal world. She's just like going down a hallway with a flashlight, but then she's tearing through some friggin' vaginal canal, you know? So it's like, and there's like
was that a Metal Jesus Rocks reference?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, that was like one of his old YouTube. Yeah, it was like a weird. But that's one of his worst YouTube videos, in my opinion.
Did he say vaginal canal in that video?
Yes, at the beginning of the video, it's like him and one of his friends that I don't think has been on a video since. So.
But yeah, it was like the Upside Down, but it's like you're interacting with both worlds at the same time. I guess it flickers between it, so it's just very Stranger Things-esque, I guess. But it's like horror at.
The horror part kind of intrigued me, but nothing else. It was that was like, I think that was the stream I was watching at the time was like, wow, there's been a lot of bleak games this year. I think it was during that one. It was like, like it's like, it looked depressing, but intriguing. It was interesting to see more a horror game shown off. So
a horror game, very good. So the last two were New Genesis, Phantasy Star Online 2. We mentioned that before, but it doesn't do anything for us. But I'm sure there are people that are into it.
Yeah.
There's also this game called Crossfire, which looked unremarkable.
Yes.
Wholly unremarkable. But then it ended with the last announcement. It's just what I needed. This is my only thing I go to Xbox for. Okay. Fable.
See, and this did. Basically nothing for me.
It did nothing for me. Believe me, it gave me.
Oh, really?
It served me nothing because
really?
it really didn't show anything. But
okay.
But
yeah,
Fable, I love Fable.
Yeah.
It would have had a lot more hope in this if it was like it actually said Fable 4. Like, give me that.
So it's unclear. My take or my theory isn't that it's going to be a remake of Fable 1, but it's going to be a reimagining of Fable.
Oh God.
That's my guess.
So you're talking, it's like a full remake.
It's like a reboot.
Rebooting this ass. So it is just going to be called Fable.
I think so.
Oh God.
That's
Fable
my
1
theory.
Series X. Fable X.
Fable. I mean, to me, yeah. I know you're saying it did you nothing for you, but like I've never liked Fable. I gave it a shot. It was one of the first games I played. I played part of it at a friend's house when he was like showing off, yo, it's like an Xbox, and the game just doesn't do anything for me at all. It
Look,
just I want to, especially the first one. I want to like Fable, but it just doesn't click with me. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the weird like, and I like British humor, but I don't know if it's like the weird irreverent humor, or if like
Chicken Chaser,
or if like it's just the ugly art style, or if it's like
Follow.
I don't know what it is. I just don't like it.
I love Fable. It's one of my favorite Xbox things.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. A lot of people love Fable. Oh, most of my friends really like Fable, and it just
honestly, one of my
me.
greatest shames is that I still haven't beaten. I haven't even beaten the first two. Crazy how that works.
Yeah, and there was no such thing as Fable 3. It doesn't exist.
Fable 3 is great. Don't talk to me like that. Okay? You're
Right,
a Fable hater in general.
That's why there was a huge random time skip towards the end of the game that it doesn't tell you about.
You can't have edgy Fable takes when you haven't played when you don't like Fable. Okay? Well, it's not edgy. It's actually a cold take, but
yeah, it is fairly cold, yeah.
But my edgy take is enjoying Fable 3. And
okay. That is a pretty edgy take.
And loving the fact that you can hold hands with and follow along with somebody.
Wow.
Hold hands.
That's so revolutionary.
I love that. No, I don't really. I just like the game.
No,
okay?
I don't. Yeah.
But Fable, yeah. The reason there's always cause for concern is because of the weird stuff they did with Fable after the fact.
Like Fable the Beginnings?
Fable whatever. Like Fable whatever that 3D or
the
third person
game?
Thing. Yeah, they did.
Yeah, it was Fable
thing.
the Beginnings. I think there was another Fable game that was supposed to be coming out, but that got totally canceled.
Right. And then the fact there's this weird whole fairy sequence that leads into this Fable trailer, where it's like that's not really that much in the vein of Fable. It's like that's not really what is.
I mean,
there's magical stuff for sure, but
that almost felt Shrek like, right?
It was a little weird, but just the fact is Fable, unfortunately I didn't get the reveal live because I got there was a tweet or something indicating, or no, it was the Fable Facebook page updated their profile picture
for that's the first time in years probably that they've even interacted.
I saw a comment or "Ooh, I think it's gonna be I'm like, oh, scroll past that."
Oh dang.
But it's so that's what I was waiting for the whole time.
Yeah.
And so once you hear the voice, you can tell it's very Fable, but you have to show me something for me to have any faith here.
Yeah, I don't even think they announced a projected release date for that one either.
Yeah, they would have shown me something if they had something good.
Yeah.
But that obviously is my highlight, just for the fact because that series should live on for sure. But if it is some sort of reboot, I don't know what you could look for there. There's not much Fable. People love Fable for the core of what it is, so just a return to form would have been acceptable. What is there to reboot?
We'll see.
I
mean, the problems that a lot of people have with Fable is unrealistic expectations set, but I don't think Peter Molyneux has anything to do with the series anymore. And he was kind of the chief guy that made all of the outlandish claims about what the game was going to be and what he was doing with it.
Mm-hmm.
And the man has a very long storied history about lying about the games that he makes, and which continued onward into mobile development, where he also lied about a lot of the stuff that he did there too. So, but I don't think he has anything to do with it anymore. So at the very least, this is maybe a new beginning for Fable with less lies.
We'll see. We'll see. I hope to as a Fable fan, I can just enjoy it. That's all I need. But yeah, it was good to hear it, see it, kind of. All right, so that's it, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
I graded the conference. I gave it a C+.
Mm-hmm.
It was very adequate. There was not very much for me, but there were still some solid games. Here's the one thing, though, upon reanalysis, that would actually, I think, bump it up to about a B or maybe even a B plus. And that's the fact that almost every single one of these games that was shown off will be available on Xbox Game Pass.
Mm-hmm.
And that's amazing.
Sure.
$15 a month, and you can play all of these games when they come out for free. Basically, that's included with the game. It's not for free because you're paying a subscription service, but that's amazing. That
Mm-hmm.
is amazing. You don't have to pay $70 for these games because they're saying that new games in this upcoming generation will probably be $70.
Yikes.
Um, so you're not going to have to do that with Game Pass, and that's kind of that's the thing that I think it almost feels like this whole conference is more Xbox and Microsoft positioning the Xbox brand as a service, as the game as like a service provider, more so than just we're making these amazing games, we have these cool experiences for you, but you'll be able to play them on whatever hardware that you can, at least for a little while. And if you have Game Pass, you will get them for a low
Mm-hmm.
fee per month,
Yeah, I
and
guess.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I
I
guess
think that's
it should
really
be
cool.
said like, so we aren't sold on Series X, right?
No, not at all.
Like,
I'm not even sold on the PlayStation 5.
yeah,
Like, I'm not buying it at launch. I just have no reason to
not buying
right now.
it. As if Fable shows itself to be promising, I'll have to get it by necessity at some point. But
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, there's nothing compulsory about it. So
Yeah, and like I
see.
said, Ballon Wonderworld or whatever that crap it's called.
That's on other stuff. Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's supposed to be on basically everything else. I don't know if it'll be on
I
Switch.
knew it's
but I
on
think
Switch at the very least. That's all I know.
Oh, is it?
Because I saw Nintendo drop the trailer for it too.
Yeah, then I'm getting it on the Switch, obviously.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean that looked amazing. I think they just picked that. They must have just Microsoft either asked or they just were requested to be included there, and
Mm-hmm.
that's a great it's a great place for it. Trailer looked really cool. I'm very excited for that game.
So that's your game of the show.
Yeah,
It's not
pretty
an
much. I mean,
Xbox exclusive.
no, Halo. I would say Halo. I think that game. I think it looked really good. I don't really understand exactly why people were saying it looked like a 360 game. I didn't. I think during the stream, it definitely there wasn't the quality was pretty bad. Watching the trailer itself, the game looks great. I mean, it's not like mind-blowingly fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But to be perfectly honest, I didn't really feel that way with any of the PS5 games either. I think a lot of what these newer consoles are bringing to the table are load times, more storage space, higher fidelity, and higher frame rates. I think those more so than necessarily actual graphical horsepower
Yeah.
seems to be more of the priority, and I'm okay with that. It's more of an iterative generation. This one definitely feels more iterative than even the last few.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be a hard sell, right?
And that's why it's a hard sell for me because it's like I feel like I have a PS4. I don't even have a PS4 Pro. I have a PS4, and I'm very content. I
Right.
want to pick up an Xbox Series, not Series. I want to pick up an Xbox One X. I hate this naming convention. I'm gonna pick up a refurbished Xbox One X because all the new ones they're basically all sold out because they discontinued it. And then I'll be content because I get all of my 360 games that I want to play backwards compatible. Get like a nice upres. And yeah, and that's fine with me. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I don't need 4K 60 FPS. That's fine. I have a 4K TV. I don't need that though. I don't feel compelled that like I have to have a gaming experience with that. I have a 2K monitor right here that I'm on, and I don't feel that I'm missing out on anything because I can play games at like 120 frames per second on this thing.
Yeah, so it's really
No,
that's why it's going to come down to games that you're forced to get it for, right?
Yeah,
'Cause it's a small step up, and you're asking
Yeah.
for a full price
Mhm.
for a system, so it's like, and you're gonna keep coming out with more Xbox One games, stuff on Xbox One anyway, so it's not much incentive yet.
yeah.
We'll see. I would give it like a C plus too if we're gonna
Yeah.
grade it. But is that it?
I think that's it. That's all I got.
Alrighty, Dan.
So, what video would you recommend that somebody watch from our channel? If there's a video that maybe relates or may interest the viewers.
Yeah, for sure. I think they should go check out our Microsoft at E3 2019 discussion. One of our
what did we talk about? How were we on Microsoft during that?
Who knows? I don't even remember.
I know it feels like an age and a half ago.
I remember because they just always have these most oversized like E3s where it's like 3.5 hours of stuff.
75 game premieres.
Yeah.
15 world premiere trailers. Yeah,
and 255 exclusive limited console launches.
Yeah, I know. They have they always spell out like everything there. Well, see, the reason that they started doing that was because of the Xbox One reveal, where they showed nothing. TV, television.
Phil Spencer will come out and talk about all the great accomplishments of the last. We did so many great things. Over the last year, we produced this many exclusives.
We acquired new indie studios.
We freaking destroyed these studios, dude. We absorbed all of these into our command. 250 new indie studios have been bought out.
Was there nothing about Battletoads?
No, but there was a Battletoads
There's a Battletoads action figure in Grounded, right?
Yes. Okay, now you know what Grounded is.
Yes, I forgot about it until I just saw a screenshot of that and I was like, oh, that's kind of funny.
Yeah, that's some Battletoads representation.
Yeah, what the heck was that? They should have had like a Conquer or something like that. I don't know.
Okay.
What the hell?
All right. Until next time, when Sony does their showcase of.
When are we gonna get prices for these things? That's what I want to know. I'm not gonna buy one, but I am still very curious as to like prices
at launch.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.